Coming to you almost live from beautiful downtown Signal Hill, California, it's Jazz Live with the Way Cool Jazz Angels. Today, you'll hear about saxophonist Illinois Jacquet and all the good that he did, a special interview with Jazz Angels co-director Albert Alva, and as always, some amazing jazz from the outstanding Jazz Angels youth bands. Here's your host today, Barry Koger.
Thanks, John, and thanks to you for tuning in. At Jazz Angels, we incorporate a wide variety of music in the jazz style. Each musician has a voice, a say in the songs they're going to play. This session, some of the musicians wanted to do a tune for Music Man and the Beatles. Let's give it a listen. I had the opportunity to interview one of our bassists and volunteers, Jennifer. Let's listen to that interview. Now I'd like to introduce you to one of our Jazz Angels musicians, bassist Jennifer Arca. Jennifer, how long have you been in the Jazz Angels?
I've been playing with the Jazz Angels for about 4 years now.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a while. So in that 4-year period, what do you think is your the thing you learned the most?
Working with Jazz Angels, I've been able to practice my improvisation really well and just get used to, soloing over songs. And also, I've learned how to communicate with the rhythm section members.
Okay, great. Like talking or making body language to the other people to speed up or slow down? Or
Yeah, mostly like learning each other's body language and learning how to keep in pocket with the drums.
Yeah. That's really cool. So in addition to playing in the bands, which you've done for a while, you also help out. You volunteer for the organization. What prompted you to do that?
I was looking for volunteering around in my community, and I didn't really know where to start. So I figured it would be best if I would just ask Jazz Angels, because I've been playing with you guys for a while now, and I wanted to see what I could do to help.
Right, and what you do, you help us organize the music, and you do a great job with it. So maybe kind of explain what happens. You're very trustworthy, so we give you like a box of music, and then what do you do? What do you do with that?
And basically with the music, I just go through the songs and go through all of the parts and see which parts we can use possibly for future sessions, and then I just keep a pile of like the parts that we wouldn't use, and I would return it back to you.
Okay, yeah. It's a big help, and the music library is growing, and it's always needs adjusting. So we really appreciate your help with that. And you're also a great bass player. So I think it'd be great to have you play Miles Davis's "So What" with the band next.
Okay, sounds good.
want to welcome Dr. Pam Jaquette Davis from the Illinois Jaquette Foundation. She's not only the founder of the foundation, she's Illinois Jaquette's daughter. So Pam, I'm glad you could make it today. And what was it that brought you to the Jazz Angels, and why did you want to form the partnership?
Well, Barry, thank you for having me here today. I wanted to form the foundation's relationship with the Jazz Angels because we had similar missions, similar philosophies. When I first started looking to expand the scope of the foundation, I wanted some earlier education exposure for students because I realized that the musical education in the school systems really had just been awful over the last 10, 15 years. Students weren't in school bands and they really weren't exposed to music in the way that we grew up and were exposed to music. So I asked a friend of mine who lived in the area, well, what's going on? Are there any organizations? And she mentioned the Jazz Angels. I went to the website, I read your philosophy, your mission. I understood you were an experienced musician and you had a dedication to educating these young students about music. And I thought it would be a wonderful way to collaborate, to expand the scope of IJF so that it's not just focused on college and graduate students, but expanded to the high school, middle school, and elementary school. And I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful find as far as looking at the depth and breadth of what you do and the respect you have in the community. I think that that's very important.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm overjoyed with our collaboration and everything that we've brought to these young people about Illinois Jaquette and all the dimensions of his life. Well, is there like one specific thing about the Jazz Angels that you like?
I think the leadership and the flexibility in how you operate, the fact that you can bring students in that don't have much background in music but maybe like it and want to learn, as well as having students that are more exposed to the music and probably have played an instrument for a number of years. I think that gives me a feeling of the dedication and the education that you'd like to provide for the students. And so I was drawn particularly to that. But also, when I met you, there was a warmth. And music is about warmth, about love, and about the soul and how we feel. And that's how I felt about you. Well,
thank you, and likewise. From the moment we met, it was like, okay, this is going to be a really wonderful partnership and relationship. And over the years, it's certainly been that. We arrange a lot of Illinois tunes for our bands, and we have a lot of different levels of bands. Part of our programming includes some classes for the Paramount schools in the city of Paramount. And we were teaching them one of his tunes, Lute to Boot. And when I told the children in a couple middle schools, hey, we're putting on this TV show, I'm going to interview someone from Illinois Jaquette's family. Would y'all like to play a song and we could film it? And they were overjoyed to do so. So we're going to play a little clip of Paramount Schools playing Illinois Jaquette's Lute to Boot. Wasn't that great? You know, it was so cool to see one of those musicians say, hey, I want to take a solo on this thing. And he stood up and took a solo. It was just amazing to see it happen. And because of COVID and everything, we weren't able to teach them for the whole semester. We only had maybe about 8 rehearsals. But because of how we teach and because of how those students learned, they pulled it all together, and I just thought it was fabulous. And looking to the other side of our spectrum, we have some musicians with a lot of experience. They've been playing for a while, and we thought it would be neat to arrange another of Illinois' tunes called Biot and have that band play it. We're going to check it out right now.
Good.
That was amazing. Pam, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us, share some stories, and talk about the Illinois Jacquet Foundation. In closing, is there anything you want to say, upcoming events about the foundation?
Well, Barry, thank you for having myself and representing IJF. We have a couple of things coming up in the very near future. Because it's the centennial birthday, we're doing some podcasts where we will be able to share some experiences with my dad personally, as well as some of the band members that work with him. We're planning a very nice outdoor concert that we're hoping to have the Jazz Angels perform. And finally, Jazz at Lincoln Center, the Dizzy Gillespie Coca-Cola Club, is honoring my dad with a performance there. So we have a lot to look forward to. But thank you so much for having me here today.
Yes, thank you. And Illinois Jacquet is one of the coolest guys ever. Next up, I'm going to speak with a dear friend and my co-director for Jazz Angels for 17 years, Albert Alva. All right. Next, I want to introduce someone who's been with me from the very first note of Jazz Angels, my co-director and dear friend, Albert Alva. So, Albert, how long have we known each other?
Oh, I'd say since the mid-1990s, when we were playing with the show band out of San Diego, Wayne Foster, who, by the way, is just retired this year. And then we worked at the Sky Room in Long Beach with that band for many years. So.
All right. Besides working with the Jazz Angels, and we're both professional musicians, what else is it that you do?
Well, I work with a swing band, Jonathan Stout and his Campus 5. I've been with them for 15, 20 years. I've lost track of that too, but we play for big swing dancer events around the country and even the world. And then I also teach the jazz ensembles at Chapman University for 15 or 16 years now.
All right, that's great. So back in 2006, when I got that first grant to have that little band, and I asked you to be part of the process, part of the project. How long did you think it was going to last?
Well, I would say about everything I do, I'm open-ended on it, so I don't think that it's going to end.
All right, that's pretty cool, because now this is our 17th year, if you could believe it. You know, there were some times in maybe 2009 when we had some summer school programs and some great pictures taken of us, and then some other pictures of us entering our 17th year. How long do you think the Jazz Angels is going to last?
I think the Jazz Angels can just keep growing and reinventing itself and bringing more people along. I don't see that it needs to end.
Okay, great. Yeah, my goal is also that it keeps going way beyond us and has empowers young musicians and preserves jazz for everybody, you know, worldwide. would be great. So you've done a really good job of introducing the young people in our program to all these great famous jazz musicians. One of them, Illinois Jacquet, and coincidentally, we were able to form a partnership with the Illinois Jacquet Foundation, where we bring in a lot of Illinois music to the band, and we do these great arrangements of it. What is it about Illinois Jacquet that you like?
Well, his big sound on the tenor saxophone. I've been listening to him since I was probably in high school. I checked out a Lionel Hampton album from the library, and I learned his famous Flying Home solo, which we refer to a lot. At that time, just on my own, because I thought it was great, and I've been following his music ever since.
Yeah, that's so cool, and I'm really glad that we have the partnership with them, and very soon we're going to do a workshop on that Flying Home solo, so you could teach that to other people, because I love the way you play that. You know, in addition to introducing the great musicians to Jazz Angels, you also do some really great arranging of all these famous songs, and then on top of that, you encourage our young people to write their own music. And we've had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 people write music for us. And recently, Zeke, one of the people in our program, had an original tune, and he wanted your help arranging it for the band. How did that process work?
Well, I told Zeke to recommend a couple of his songs so I could pick the best one that would work for our groups. I selected the tune, and I said, we're going to meet on Zoom and have a songwriting, arranging meeting. So it ended up being about 3 separate meetings, and we worked out the arrangement together because I wanted it to be a study of collaboration. So it's not just me telling them how it's going to be. We true collaboration, his ideas, my ideas, and it turned out this particular chart into a really satisfying, wonderful piece of music.
Yeah, it's great, and your arrangements that you've done for Jazz Angels are spectacular. Let's take a listen to Zeke Collins's "Don't Stop Now," arranged by Albert Alva and Zeke Collins. Thanks for tuning in. You can see and hear that at Jazz Angels, we are empowering young musicians and preserving jazz. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Jazz Live with the Way Cool Jazz Angels. Today's show is supported in part by the Arts Council for Long Beach, the Port of Long Beach, the Illinois Jacquet Foundation, and the Altrusa of Long Beach.